Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar. Speak for long hours without ever losing your voice. Is that possible? Of course it's possible. Hi, this is Cynthia, your voice coach. In the past 6 years, I have been working with clients from 26 countries across 5 continents. Not only have I helped my clients to speak for long hours without ever losing their voice, but also I had the experience firsthand. 13 years ago, when I first started my career, every time when I gave a training, after half a day, I will feel sore throat. And then I went to buy all these lozenges. But guess what? All these lozenges didn't help. So later, when I started to find ways to improve my own voice, not only now I can speak for long hours without ever losing my voice, but also when I address a bigger audience, I don't need to shout. You can do that too. Welcome to this webinar. So at your left-hand side, you will see all these icons that you can use to click them, and then you will find that what the functions are. On your right-hand side, there is Q&A box where you can type in your questions. And anytime during our webinar, when you have a question, feel free to key in so that I can see what question you have and I can answer them in the webinar. Are you ready? Let's get started. So I'm going to share with you my screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. If you couldn't see the slides, then you also tap into the Q&A box so that I can know whether you can see it or not. Now in this webinar, whenever you have a question, feel free to send an email to my assistant and our team will help you to solve the question, solve any technical problems. Speak for long hours without ever losing your voice is not only possible, but achievable with your consistent practice and my guidance. If you have any of these voice problems, you are in the right place. So if you experience sore throat or you have throat irritation after speaking for a few hours, or you often lose your voice, or you often need to do training or teaching for a few days in a row. So for the past 2 days, I have been doing full day training from 9 to 5. And on the first day in the evening, I also did a 2 hours group coaching session. So if I didn't have a voice that can last long hours, then I wouldn't survive. If you also need to address a bigger audience and you don't want to shout, you will also find the answer in this webinar. Or if you have difficulty getting heard when you speak to a big group, you're also in the right place. If you have been experiencing voice problems for a long time, when I give speeches, many of the teachers, the lecturers, they have been losing their voice on a daily basis for a long time. And some of them, they also grow, we call that the vocal nodules. So if you also have all these voice problems, have a long time, then you're in the right place. Now this program is specially designed for speakers who need to speak a lot and often lose their voice, or they often shout. So I have been in a lot of presentations where when it's a big group, the speaker didn't want to use microphone. So the speaker ended up shouting, which is quite annoying. And if you're a trainer, you also need to train a few days in a row and you want to protect your voice from losing it, you are also in the right place. If you're a facilitator, also need to talk all day long or a few days in a row. This webinar will also help you. Or you are a teacher, a lecturer, a professor who need to talk long, you will also find the answer. And of course, there are also coaches. So a few clients of mine, they're also coaches. They also need to talk for a few days. Now, some of my clients, they actually arrange their coaching sessions back to back. So if they have coaching sessions all day long, after a while, they will find that at the end of the day, they either lose their voice or they couldn't talk anymore. So in this webinar, you will find answers to help you solve all these voice problems. So let's get started. Even if you're someone who uses your voice on a regular basis, you will also find answers. Now, no matter how old you are, you will always be able to improve. Now, this is my oldest client. When he was working with me, he was 82 years old. And his voice, because he is a life coach, when he coaches people for a long time, especially when you are getting senior, you will also lose your voice very easily. So when he was working with me, he's already been seeing the doctors, and the doctors told him, you better learn how to project your voice properly. So I was working with him. Now, some of my friends, when I was telling them, I said, my oldest client is 82. They were joking with me. They said, is he coaching you or are you coaching him? So of course, I was coaching him on his voice. And his voice, after working with me for about 2 months, and he found out that because every coaching session he recorded, so he found that his recordings have been improved tremendously. So regardless of the age, you can always improve. It is the truth that you can speak for long hours without ever losing your voice. And I'll show you how to do that. So in the next 1 hour, you're only going to learn 30 steps to help you speak for long hours without ever losing your voice. And also you will also be able to do long hours of talking to a big group without shouting. And people can hear you clearly. Does that sound good? Okay, so let's get started. Your voice development is a process. So if you want to develop a voice to speak for long hours, it's not that today you learn all these techniques and tomorrow you will be able to do that. It's not possible. It's a process. It's a process of training your body to be more open, to be more relaxed. In that way, the voice will be more easily to come out. So be patient with the process and really practice on a daily basis. Sometimes when I conduct training and the participant will ask me, so sometimes I find that I feel I'm speaking in the correct way, but I still lose my voice. Now, it's not that when you're conducting trainings, only when you are giving long hours of talking, then you use all these techniques. What you're going to do is you're going to practice all these techniques you're going to learn on a regular basis. Practice at least about 1 to 2 months, and then slowly you will be able to see the result. So it's a process of training your body. It's a process of forming a habit. And also, we only have 1 hour, and I'll do the best to teach you all the techniques and all the exercises. After this 1 hour, if you want to learn more, I'll tell you how. Okay, so I'd like to show you one of my clients, and she took the shortest time to see the progress. And she's a teacher, and you can imagine that teachers, they talk all day long, and sometimes when the students get noisy, they have to shout, which make the situation even worse. So they lose their voice very easily. And because this client of mine, she shouted too much, and she ended up with a high-pitched voice. So when she was starting working with me, she was quite frustrated. So let's take a look of her before and after.
We have before us an audit of the most previous kind. We have before us many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? I would say it is to wage war by sea, land, and air.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? I would say it is to wage war by sea, land, and air.
Okay. So, did you hear any difference in her voice in the before and after? Yes, it was quite obvious. So in the before, her voice was very high-pitched. And in the after, the voice was much fuller and deeper. If you want to have a voice that speaks for long hours without losing it, you have to develop a voice, the voice what I call a full voice. For this client, after she had her full voice, she found that not only her voice can last longer, but also other people started to pay attention to her. Instead of the shouting voice, where in the past she often heard other people say that even when she was not angry, other people thought she was angry. So let's go and take a look of what the full voice is. A full voice means that you're going to use your full body to project the voice. So I'm going to temporarily pause the slides, and I'm going to demonstrate to you the full voice and the non-full voice. Okay, I think you can see me. Let me see if there's any questions. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you the full voice and the non-full voice. So the full voice, it has been the voice that you have been hearing for the past 15 minutes. I'm going to demonstrate a voice that is not full voice, so which will be here. This is not a full voice. Can you hear the difference? So you probably have heard the difference. The difference is this voice is projecting from here, and the quality is very thin. The pitch goes a bit higher, while this one is much fuller. When you use your full body to project the voice, you reduces the strain on your vocal cords, which is here, and put the whole body to take on the strain, where you wouldn't lose your voice. Okay, so now let's go back to the slides. Okay. So a full voice, you've probably heard that in order to speak for long hours without losing your voice, you have to breathe properly. And you've also probably heard that you have to use the diaphragm to help you breathe. So breathing is the step where you heard the most. Well, in developing your full voice, there are actually 3 steps. So the 3 steps, they are RBR. So we're going to review each one of them in this 1 hour. And B represents breathing, where you heard the most. Now let's check your breathing to see whether you're breathing properly. If you're not breathing properly, the voice will still get strained after you speak for some time. Okay, so now I'd like to have you to pause for a while, do a deep breathing. And when you're doing the deep breathing, you observe in your body, where is it moving? Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay. Okay, when you were doing the deep breathing, where did you see the movement? Okay, you can type in the question box and let me know. So I'm going to demonstrate and stop the slides for a while. Okay. So when you're doing the deep breathing, were you doing this one? So take a breath in, breathe out. If you are doing the similar one, that means for the past 21 years, forever 21, you were not doing the breathing properly. No wonder you're so easy to lose your voice. So when you are breathing in and out, you'll find the shoulder and the chest are moving. So I'm going to demonstrate the proper breathing. You see where the movement is. So proper breathing. Okay, did you see the movement? No? Of course you won't see the movement because the movement is not in the shoulder or the chest. So it's actually in the stomach area. So that's why you see that when you're standing in front of a group and when you're nervous, you've probably heard that the best way to manage the nervousness when you stand in front of a group is to breathe deeply. But if you breathe in this way, everybody knows you're nervous. But if you are breathing in the proper way, no one will know. So I'm going to stand up so that you can see the movement. Okay. Move my chair. Okay. So I'm going to do a proper breathing. You see where the movement is. Okay. So take a breath in. So you see, take a breath in. I see the stomach comes up, right? And breathe out. Okay. The stomach goes in. Isn't it the opposite to what you're doing? So when you are breathing in, stomach actually goes in. When you breathe out, comes back, which is not correct. So I'm going to do one more time, observe, and you will see actually it's not only the front part, but also the back also go out. Okay, so you take a breath in, and then breathe out. See, the stomach goes in, this whole region expands, and then they will go back. So this is the proper breathing. Okay. When we breathe properly, we use the muscle called diaphragm. Where is diaphragm? Okay, so I'd like to have you find your diaphragm so you can feel it when you're practicing breathing later. The diaphragm is a piece of muscle, so it's not a cavity, it's a muscle. It's a muscle separates your chest from the stomach. So it's actually somewhere like here. Now, when you breathe in, the diaphragm should go out and go down. As a result, you see the stomach comes out. And when you breathe out, the diaphragm would go in and go up to its original position, where you will see the stomach goes in. So it's not called abdominal breathing. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. So let's find your diaphragm first. Now first, find your rib cage. So rib cage is here. Under your rib cage, you dig in. This is where the muscle is. So in order to feel it, you can slightly cough a little bit. No need to cough very hard. So cough a little bit. Okay, now you try it. When you cough, did you find that there's one muscle kicking you out? If you have found it, that's your diaphragm. So now you do have a diaphragm. The problem is you are not using the diaphragm properly. When you're breathing in, your diaphragm actually is moving the opposite direction, which means that when you breathe in, your diaphragm is moving up and moving in. As a result, you see the stomach goes in. So I'm going to show you a picture, the illustration, which I drew to help you show the difference. Okay. Okay, so let me share. Okay, you see the picture? On the left-hand side, this is the wrong way of breathing in. When you breathe in, the diaphragm actually moves in and up, which is the orange. And you see that the lung is being compressed. So you thought that you had enough air, but actually when you're breathing in the wrong way, you're squeezing out a lot of air. The one on the right-hand side is when you breathe in, the diaphragm would go down and go out. So as a result, you see that the whole region expands. Now you think about it, if you're breathing in the correct way, not only your lung is not affected, but also you have the whole body to take on the tension, to help you reduce the tension on your vocal cords and reduce the usage on your vocal cords. So when you breathe properly, it is the first step to help you speak for long hours without losing your voice. Okay, so now we're going to help you breathe properly. But before you learn how to breathe properly, have you ever noticed the babies, when they lie on the bed, their tummy is moving up and down? Okay, so I'm coming back so I can see you, or you can see me. Now, the babies, when you see them that lying on the bed, their tummy is actually moving up and down. It's because they are breathing properly. Were you babies? Of course, we were all once babies. That means we were once breathing properly. Then you might think, what happened? About 2 years old, if you ask a 2 years old to do a deep breathing, and you will see they are doing this one. So from 2 years old onwards, we started to breathe improperly. We started to accumulate all kinds of bad habits. These bad habits, especially the breathing, the bad habit, is a result of accumulated tension. Where does the tension come from? It comes from all these negative emotions we have experienced. So for example, when you were scared, how was your body reacting? Okay, now try when you were scared. Even when you are not, even if you haven't gotten scared, you probably have seen someone getting scared. So how was the body reacting? It couldn't be like this. I am scared. That's impossible. So you're probably doing this one, right? Your body gets very tense, and then you forgot to breathe out and release the tension. So when we're scared, when we're angry, right? Also the body gets very tense. Now all these negative emotions, they had an impact in your body, the negative impact, which made your body very tense. And you think that all these past experiences you had, especially the negative experiences you had, were long gone. But the fact is, they've all stored in our body. So then you have the neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain, all pain. It's not that, for example, the shoulder and the neck pain is not that you're sitting in front of the laptop too long. The real reason is because you have accumulated tension. So to breathe properly, the first step you need to do is relax. Relaxation. Tension is the biggest barrier in voice projection. If you have so much tension in the body, it will make your body very tense and closed. The air is not easy to come out. So is the voice. So in order to breathe properly, the first step, before you even breathe properly, the first step is relaxation. And then the second step is breathing. So especially when you're shouting, you're using a lot of effort, and also that the body gets very tense. You see, this is shouting. People will feel irritated. Even if you're talking to a big group and you're shouting all the time, after the session, you will feel so tired. And also that you're going to damage your vocal cords. So you have been hearing me talking about vocal cords so many times. What are vocal cords? Vocal cords, they are here, they're lying here, two small pieces of membrane. They are very delicate, very thin tissues. So there are two pieces lie here. Now you can put your hands here, try to swallow some saliva. For example, when you swallow your own saliva, did you feel that something move up and down? If you have felt it, that's your vocal cords. The vocal cords, when we breathe in, they will open. And then where will the air go? Yes, it goes into your, not your stomach, it goes into your lungs. So it goes into your lungs here. And then when you breathe out, they are closed. But if you want to speak, not sleep. If you want to speak, they're still closed, but the air wants to come out. So when the air wants to come out, it starts to vibrate. It is the vibration on your vocal cords that created your voice. So let me demonstrate with a piece of paper. Okay. Now, for this piece of paper, if I just put it here, is there any sound? If there's wind coming by, very strong wind, and make it vibrate, what did you hear? That's right, sound. So it's the vibration created the sound. How interesting is that? That vibration is sound. So that's the reason that I often say voice is physical. Because vibration is physical, you can feel it. So for example, when you put your hands here, you say anything. You feel vibration. This is physical. And you put your fingers, 2 fingers slightly on your nose, you say, what do you feel? Vibration. So voice is physical. If you want to improve your voice, you must work on the physical. So let's get physical. Now, did you realize that the vocal cords, the vibration, like this piece of paper, the small wind will have weak vibration. If the wind is stronger, it will make it very strong. So here the sound becomes stronger. So it's the same for our vocal cords. If you want to have a stronger voice, a voice that can last longer, a voice that can reach the back of the room, you have to practice breathing. Now, of course, we said the reason you haven't been breathing properly is because you are so tense. So the first thing we're going to do is to relax. So let's relax. Okay, on your chair, you can relax. Now make sure you're not doing this one. Like many of my participants in my classes, they will do this. This is not relax. This is collapse. To relax is not to collapse. To relax is to release the unnecessary tension in your body. Now sometimes you have tension you don't even know. So we're going to help you to do some relaxation exercises to help you release the tension. You can also do these exercises before your training sessions, before your coaching sessions, before you teach a class. The easiest way to help you relax is very easy. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Now it's a little bit like the collapsing, but it's not really collapsing. It's called sighing. Make a sigh. So for example, we make a sigh. Okay, so now I'd like to have you sigh into your chair. Make a sigh. As you are sighing, let me see if there's any questions. Okay, looks like no questions yet. Okay. Okay, so I'd like to have you type your question into the Q&A box, which is in your right-hand side. Okay. Okay, make a sigh. Okay, so I'd like to share the screen with you so you can see that some of the techniques we covered. Okay, so we're talking about making a sigh. Now you think about it, you can make a sigh anytime, anywhere, right? And also, I'd like to have you observe, when you were making a sigh, how much effort did you use? Probably no effort. That's the effort you need for voice production. Huh? Really? Many of my clients will ask, really? Really? The voice production needs no effort. That's the reason that I can speak for longer days without losing my voice. And I don't feel tired because you don't need effort at all. So if you are using a lot of effort, especially when you're shouting, it's very damaging to your voice. Let me take a sip of water. Okay. Now, sighing is the easiest way to help you release the tension. Now, there are many other exercises to help you release the tension, but they're really requiring you to be very observant where your tension is. So you can find all the other exercises in our website, powerfulexecutivevoice.com. In our website, there are 8 free audio lessons and 3 free video lessons where you will learn many other relaxation exercises. So here, we just mentioned one easiest one, so sighing. Now, like my client, often they will find when they're doing the relaxation exercises, they realize, wow, they have so much tension in their body, they didn't even know. Like one of my clients, Desmond, he said, I didn't realize I had so much tension that was holding my voice back. Relaxation really helped get the breath right and get the best of my voice out. So some of my clients in the beginning, when they work with me, they didn't really treat relaxation as important. And only when they started to practice breathing and they found that it's so difficult to breathe properly, then they realized how important the relaxation is. So it's the same for you, that I really want you to start to observe where your tension is. And started to do some relaxation exercises in our 8 free audio lessons and 3 free video lessons where I covered some of the relaxation exercises. So another one is, let me stop sharing again so you can see me. Another one is the relaxation exercises we were talking about is only for the short-term pain. Now, for the long-term pain in your body, you have to think of ways to solve this long-term pain. And also this long-term pain or this chronic pain is a result and is a manifestation of what is happening inside. I used to have heel pain, the 2 heels, the back of the foot. The 2 heels were very painful, and it was 2007. In 2007, when I was still working for a company, before I started my own company, and at that time, I had the 2 heels very painful. Every morning when I woke up, the moment my feet touching the ground, and usually we had the heels touching the ground first. So when the heels touching the ground, it was like the needles goes into my bones. It was very painful. And all these heels, the shoes with heels, I couldn't wear anymore. So I can only wear the flat shoes. I was thinking, does that mean that for the rest of my life, I couldn't wear high heels again? So I went to the doctors, see all kinds of doctors, the Western doctors, the Chinese doctors. So the Western doctors, they would tell me, oh, this usually happens to old people. Excuse me, I'm not that old. So they gave me some painkiller, and I didn't take them because the painkillers is very bad for your stomach. So then I went to the Chinese medicine, the traditional Chinese medicine. And then the doctor said, okay, let me give you some Chinese medicine because that means that your blood couldn't circulate into your heels. So I'm going to help you do that. So I took the medicine. The first week, it worked. And then the second week, I went back to the doctor, took the same medicine. It stopped working. I was very frustrated. And I was talking to one friend one day. I said, I had this huge pain. It's been quite some time. And then my friend said, okay, let me check a book. So he went to check a book. And then after checking the book, he interpreted. He said, heel is where you touch the ground first. So the moment you touch the ground and you feel painful, that means in your life, you lost your direction. You might be laughing. This is so ridiculous. But when he told me that, I said, wow, this is so accurate. Because at that time, in 2007, I was still thinking whether I should start my own company or not. So I was 1 foot forward, 1 foot backward. So I couldn't decide. That's where I started to experience the pain. And I had the pain for a year. So one day I finally decided that I'm going to do it. I'm going to start my own business, no matter what. And I'm not going to look back. So after I started my own business for 6 months, one day I was walking on the road and I suddenly realized I haven't had the pain for some time and I didn't see any doctor. So then I started to buy high heels again. Now, of course, I went back to my friend and asked him, what was the book? So he said, and you can also check it out. So now I use that book as a health Bible. And it's called You Can Heal Your Life. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Louisehey. So in that book, it will tell you that where you have pain and what kind of thought that made that pain. So for example, my heel pain was the thought of hesitation, couldn't decide. And then it will also tell you that what kind of new thought pattern you should have. So it's really a good book to help you solve the chronic pain. So that's relaxation. It's not just relax those short-term and very small pains. There are tension in your body. You didn't even know. I had a client, he had the back pain and the middle back. So every time when he breathes, in the past, when he breathed, and you feel that the air just couldn't go down, it was stuck here. And then he realized that it's because, and also he told me, the back has been having the pain for some time. So you have to really be observant of where the pain is and solve that. Okay, so then that's relaxation, the first step. And the exercise we covered was sighing, make a sign. And also to experience how much effort you need for voice projection. So after relaxation, the second step is breathing. So we're going to help you breathe properly. And you're going to learn 2 breathing exercises. The first one is called open mouth breathing. Open mouth breathing. It just means that breathe in and out through the mouth. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to put one hand on the upper stomach, this hand. Okay, so let me adjust the camera so that you can see. Okay, so you're going to put one hand on the stomach, upper stomach, and then the other hand, you can just put it aside. And the reason you're going to use your mouth is because that you're going to form a new habit. In order to form a new habit, you have to use the new channel instead of the old channel. So many of my clients in the beginning, they refuse to use their mouth. And then whenever they do the breathing, they will do because the old channel will just lead to the bad habit. Like Albert Einstein said, if you keep on doing the same thing but expect different results, you're insane. So if you want to form a new habit, get a new result, you have to use the new channel. And also that when you use the mouth, this part is more relaxed. You see, breathe in, breathe out. Instead of the whole muscle get very tense. So I'd like to have you really that started to practice through the mouth. And you won't become a mouth breather. When it becomes a habit, you can still use your nose. And also you won't have a dry throat unless you're doing this one. You're sucking in the air. That will make your throat dry. So the throat won't dry if you're doing it properly. So I'm going to demonstrate. You're going to put one hand on the upper stomach. And if you're sitting, make sure that the 2 feet, they're on the ground so that your posture is good. So if you're doing this one, or your feet is, one leg is on the other, the posture is not very good. So make sure that you're sitting upright with 2 feet on the ground. So put one hand here, and then you take a breath in through the mouth like this one. So take a breath in, breathe out. Did you see that it's very light? Okay, so now you practice. Okay, so I'd like to give you some time to practice, and then I will also show you what we have covered. Okay, so I'll cover sighing. We have covered breathing, relaxation. Okay, how was your open mouth breathing? Okay, you probably found that your shoulder and your chest are still moving. I would say that 90% of my clients, when they're doing the open mouth breathing, their shoulder and chest are still moving. So you really want to make sure that you're relaxed. So let me stop sharing so you can see me. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time. You see, when we breathe in, you can use a ha sound to monitor your breath. So I'm going to demonstrate with a little bit stronger ha sound like this. So it's, and then breathe out. Okay, did you hear that my ha sound is slow and even? It's not this. So don't do that one. And also, as we mentioned, that voice projection process, so is breathing process. There's no effort, it's effortless. So don't try too hard. The harder you try, the less likely you are going to do it correctly. Okay, so use some ha sound to help you do the breathing. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time. Take a breath in, breathe in. Okay, and then breathe out. Okay, so I'm going to stand up and demonstrate so you can see clearly. Okay, move my chair. Okay, you adjusting. Okay, so you see, take a breath in and then breathe out. Okay, one more time. Take a breath in and then breathe out. So for you, the other hand, you can just put aside. The reason I put it at the back so that you can see it. Okay, so now it's your turn to practice one more time. Okay. Okay, how was the breathing? Another way you can try is to lie on the ground. Lie on the ground. Lie on the bed. Don't lie on the ground. Okay. Now, even if you lie on the ground, put a yoga mat. So you're going to lie on the bed tonight. And when you lie on the bed, your body is more relaxed. So you may be more likely to see the movement on the stomach. So when you're lying down, you will see that the stomach would go up and down, go up and down. Okay, so that's the second exercise you can try when you go back home tonight. And there are many other exercises for breathing, which I will cover with my clients during our sessions. So there are some very effective exercises. And when they do this exercise, usually 99.99999 of my clients would be able to do the breathing properly. So as I mentioned, that later I'm going to show you that how you can learn with me with more breathing exercises to really get your breathing right. So there's one exercise I call the ultimate breathing exercise, which will really help you. Now your objective for this breathing is to make it a habit. That means every breath you take in the future is going to have the movement on your stomach, proper movement. In order to form a habit, you have to do it on a daily basis. So you probably have heard that the diaphragmatic breathing, but it's not that, oh, tomorrow I am going to talk for the whole day. Now let me practice breathing. It wouldn't happen. And also it wouldn't help you to speak for long hours because your breathing is not a habit. So again, I have to repeat one more time, make the breathing a habit. How to make a habit? Okay, let me take a sip of water. Now you've probably heard, in order to form a new habit, you have to take 21 days. So 21 days is how long our brain will take to get used to a new pattern. So you have to keep on reinforce the pattern. So for breathing, 21 days is possible. It did happen to some of my clients. The other clients, they will take a little bit longer time. But usually I would say that around 3 months, you will be able to form a habit. So that's for breathing, even though you have been breathing wrongly for the past 21 minus 2 years. But you will be able to form a new habit in 3 months. So once you're breathing properly, then you will be able to, it will not help you to solve the problem yet. You must have the next step to help you use the whole body. So breathing is only using the diaphragm to help you breathe properly. But you have to use the whole body to help you project the voice so that you can reduce the strain and reduce the relying on your vocal cords. The last step. Now, before we cover the last step, just now we mentioned that the vocal cords vibrate, help you to have the sound. And then when you have more air, the vibration will be stronger. But at the same time, even if you have stronger breath and you have the vocal cords vibrate, but if you're not using all the amplifiers, your voice is still very small. Can you hear me? So if you couldn't use all the so-called amplifiers in our body, you wouldn't be able to hear me clearly. Now, vocal cords, the vibration on vocal cords is actually very, very small. That's what happened when you're whispering. So that's why when you are losing your voice, stop whispering. Because when you're whispering, it's still your vocal cords are doing the work. It's actually adding more damages to your vocal cords. So when you are losing your voice, instead of whispering, shut up, just stop talking and write more. So in order to help our voice to get heard clearly, and besides having the vocal cords to vibrate, we have to use the amplifiers in our body to amplify the initial vibration, to make the vibration stronger. And that is done by the amplification. The amplification is through the amplifiers. Now, amplifiers, they are cavities in our body. So just now we mentioned diaphragm is a piece of muscle, so it's not cavity. In my classes, some of the students, they will say, diaphragm. So it's not diaphragm, it's different body cavities. So in your voice projection process, there are 5 major cavities. The 5 major cavities, they are your nose, your mouth, your throat, your voice box, and chest. So here there are actually 2 cavities, even though you didn't know. So there are throat, voice box, and throat, voice box. Inside of your voice box is the vocal cords. So the throat is actually at the back. That's why you often hear people say, use the back of your throat. So it's actually the throat, no back or no front. So it's nose, mouth, throat, voice box, and chest. Now these cavities, they will help you to amplify your voice by means of resonance. Resonance. What is resonance? Now in my classes, they will say, probably if you are also having the same answer, you may say is echo. Now resonance is not echo. Echo, what is echo? Echo is when you shout in the cave, you say hi, and then there will be hi coming back. Echo is a sound bouncing back. So sound bouncing back. Well, resonance is sympathetic vibrations. What is sympathetic vibrations? It just means that all the materials, they started to vibrate in the same speed. The term is called frequency. Frequency is just how fast or how slow it vibrates. So if it vibrates in the same speed and same frequency, then they will have the same sound. The sound will become stronger. Now think about it, if every one of us, we started to play the drums at the same time, don't you think that the sound will become stronger? So that's resonance. Resonance is, to make it simple, it is supplementary vibrations. Supplementary vibrations in the cavities through vibrating in the same frequency. Another example to help you understand resonance is, now have you seen the giant bells in temples? When you strike the bell, what will happen? Yes, the sound will become stronger, richer, and deeper. So that's resonance. Now, when you strike it, you only strike once, but the sound will continue. So the continuous sound is called vibration. We say that the continuous vibration. So it's actually the molecules inside of the bell, they all start to vibrate in the same frequency. Then the sound will become stronger. So then you think about it in your body, if you can use all the cavities and they start to vibrate in the same time, wouldn't your sound become stronger? Of course it will be. And for most people, if they're not trained, if they're breathing in the wrong way, they're only using 4 out of the 5 cavities. So nose, mouth, throat, voice box, and the other one they're not using, which is chest. If you can use your chest cavity, not only your sound will become stronger, but also you have the whole body to take on the tension. So you will reduce the strain on your vocal cords. So when we talk about resonance, we're actually talking about chest resonance. So I'm going to help you develop the chest resonance. And there's one sound we're going to practice. Now the resonance must build on breathing. So resonance is the third step. If you're not breathing properly, if you're breathing in this way, the diaphragm moves up, this chest cavity becomes smaller. That's the reason that you wouldn't have the stronger resonance. So in order to have the chest resonance, you must breathe properly. So we're going to do one exercise to help you with the resonance. And this is what we're going to do. The sound, one of the best sounds for the chest resonance is O sound. So this is what you're going to practice. So take a breath in. And then when you breathe out, you're going to make the O sound like this. Take a breath in. You can put one hand on the sternum, which is the mid-breastbone. And the other hand, you can put on your upper stomach, so you can feel the breath. So take a breath in. When you breathe out, you make the O sound like this. One more time. So feel the O sound, you'll feel more vibration in the chest. So it's not this one. Oh, it's coming from here. Did you see the difference? Yes. So this one is oh, this one is oh. Okay. Now this is the first step to feel the resonance. When you breathe properly, then you're going to learn how to speak using the resonance. And you're not going to speak in this way, oh. And also that when you're doing the O sound, you find that at the moment, the sound is not strong. We don't want, our purpose is not to make the sound strong. Our purpose is to feel the resonance first. And then later, there are exercises to help you make the sound stronger. When you start to use the chest resonance, because they will create more vibrations, it will make your sound stronger when you are addressing a bigger audience. So you don't need to shout. You only need to have a stronger chest resonance. Your voice will be heard clearly without shouting. So we have covered these 3 steps to help you have a voice that speaks forever long without ever losing it. We covered briefly some simple and basic exercises. If you would like to really work on your voice and stop suffering from losing your voice, from getting hoarseness, getting strained, and the second day you still have to talk, I have 5-week program to help you. So I'm going to show you what you are going to learn in these 5 weeks. But before we're going to cover that, I'm going to show you one more time the 4 steps. So let me share first the 3 steps to help you have the stronger voice. Okay, so the full voice, we covered 3 steps: relaxation, breathing, and resonance. So in relaxation, we covered the exercise, sighing. Breathing, we covered 1 basic exercise, which is called open mouth breathing. Resonance, we covered 1 basic first step exercise, which is the O sound. So all my clients, they went through the process. Let's see one of the clients. And Jane, she's a trainer and facilitator from Shell. Before working with me, her voice was soft and didn't project well. In the back of the class, the participants couldn't hear her. So she worked with me about 3 to 4 months. And then she learned the techniques of proper breathing and developing resonance. So she said, not only could I feel my voice becoming fuller and stronger, I also received positive feedback from participants and fellow facilitators that they could hear me well from the back. With this, I also felt I was engaging the participants better. So as I mentioned, that is really a process. It's not a one-off activity for your voice projection. So let's also see another lady, Mary. So before working with me, Mary often lost her voice after speaking for a few hours. So once she started work with me and practicing, now at times over the phone, she said, I'm able to raise my voice effortlessly. As we mentioned, that voice projection is effortless. No shouting at all. And even my colleagues commented that my voice is louder now. On days when I need to talk for a few hours nonstop, like 4 hours, or even whole day, normally up to 8 hours with breaks, my voice is still audible, not hoarse. So you can speak for long hours without losing your voice. It is not a dream. It is something that you can achieve. As long as you practice, I can say that 3 to 4 months, you will be able to speak for long hours without losing your voice. Now, in the video we showed in the beginning of the webinar, that lady, she actually took 2 months. 2 months is possible. So let me show you what you're going to learn in this upcoming 5-week program. Speak for long hours without ever losing your voice. This 5-week course will start from 11th of August. It's Tuesday and will start 8 p.m. Singapore time every day. So you can find the program details in this website, powerfulexecutivevoice.com/5-week voice program. There's no space in between, 5-week voice program. So in this 5-week program, week 1, week 2, and week 4, 1 to 4, it will be video lessons where you're going to learn from a video. And in these video lessons, I will show you step by step. Week 2 and week 4, week 3 and week 4, week 3 and week 5, you are going to call in and I will answer your questions. So let's go through each week. So for week 1, which is 11th of August, 8 p.m. Singapore time, we will cover power up your voice. Actually, we will help you to find tensions in your body and also learn the breathing techniques to help you project a stronger voice. So week 1 is mainly we're going to cover 2 or 3 breathing exercises to help you really get the breathing correct and starting to make the breathing a habit. So After week 1, you will practice for 2 weeks on breathing. While you are practicing the breathing, there is 1 week in between, which is a break time. But this break time, you will get a bonus session. A bonus session, which is not talking about breathing or resonance. It will talk about how to make your voice more engaging, more interesting, instead of a monotone that puts people into sleep. So week 2 is a bonus session. We will cover voice dynamics to engage and inspire. But week 2, you will continue practicing your breathing. And week 3, on 25th of August, I'm going to answer your questions live. So whatever question you have, and I'm going to bring your question during week 3, so I can answer your question. And week 4, you're going to learn resonance. Not only resonance, but also you're going to learn how to increase your volume to be heard clearly without shouting. So that will be the week 4. We will cover resonance, the 3 steps speaking with resonance. So resonance itself has another 3 steps, which we'll cover in the week 4. And week 5, again, you are going to call in. I'm going to give you a number to call in, and this number is can be called in through every corner of the world. So I'm going to answer your question in week 5. Okay. So then you might be wondering, how much is it? So usually for my clients who work with me face-to-face, one-on-one, is $400 per session. So it will be $2,000 for 5 sessions. But today, you're going to get a special offer. We're not going to charge you $2,000. So for 5 sessions, you only need $397. And if you are online, you have an advantage, which is $297. Oh, not January, before 25th of July, which is 1 day within the next 24 hours. Before 25th of July, if you register, you will get $100 off. So it's actually even lower than 1 face-to-face session. And you get 5 sessions. And to help you really go through the 3 steps and make sure that you get breathing right and you get the resonance in your chest and speak with the resonance so you can reduce the strain on your vocal cords and speak with a stronger voice that can last forever, as long as no one is irritated. Okay, so I'm going to give you also give you another bonus. So if you register right after our webinar, which is today, there are 1 hour left before 10 p.m., you will also enjoy a 30 minutes one-to-one Skype session with me. And I'll help you to analyze your voice problems and help you to really strategize what are you going to practice in these 5 sessions. So this 30 minutes Skype session is going to be done before the 5 weeks. Okay, so this is the website. If you would like to take a detailed look on the program, you can find the program details there. And also if you register before 10 p.m., which is 1 hour from now, you're going to also get one-to-one session with me. Okay. I'd love to help you to speak for long hours. I have experienced losing my voice, getting hoarseness, and I know how struggling it can be. But you don't need to struggle. After I have developed my voice, I never lose my voice. I never use any lozenges. It is such an enjoyment when you are able to speak for long hours, especially if you are in a profession where you need to speak for long hours. So it is something that you can achieve. So it's not unreachable. And I'd love to help you in these 5 weeks. So if you have any question for this program, feel free to drop me an email. Now I'm going to, this is the email. You can leave any question. And also for this program, the 5-week program, we also have the installment plan. So you can also find on the website. And if you have any question about the installment plan, also feel free to drop an email to that email address. I hope I can see you in these 5 weeks and really help you to work on your voice so that you can also speak for long hours without losing your voice. And also make, if it's a dream, I'll help you make the dream come true. So before we end today's session, I'd like to really see you again and really